Hello and welcome to another Microsoft Word tutorial. In this tutorial we will going to be learning how you can create tables in Microsoft Word. In order to create tables in Microsoft Word, you click the Insert tab on the ribbon. After you click the Insert tab on the ribbon, you click Table. When you click Table, it gives you a little drop down in which it lists several different cells. Now what these cells represent is the number of rows and columns that you would like to insert in a table. And a table is basically a two-dimensional row and column combination. So if I bring my mouse on the first box, notice you can see the live preview, and notice the size is 1 by 1. A lot of the time when we look at the tables, we think that, okay, 1 by 1 means 1 row, 1 column. However, in this environment, notice as I went to the second row, but selected the first column, it said 1 by 2. So in Microsoft Word, the number that is before the multiplication symbol is the number of columns. The number after the multiplication symbol is the number of rows. So if I come down like this, now that says 4 columns, 3 rows. Or if I come up like this, that is 3 columns, 2 rows. So if I click, then it finalizes the table. Now you can always zoom in and zoom out. So for example, if I click the zoom in button, now it's zooming in. So for example, now if I would like to fill in the table, I can give the titles like first name, middle initial, last name. Now when I move from one column to the other, I use the tab on the keyboard. I could also click in any of the fields to move around, or I could just simply tab. When you are in the last cell of the table and you tab, it creates a new row for you. And this is how you can be creating more rows in the table. You can click here, and then you can add data. Or I could use the arrow keys on the keyboard to just simply move around. Okay, so if I click here in the first name box and I would like to type somebody's first name, middle initial and last name, and similarly middle initial after the first name. If I would like to leave it blank, I can leave it blank and move over. So this is how you can be adding data to your table. Now when I bring my mouse over the table, I get to see 2 different options, one in this corner and one in the top left corner. One is in the bottom right corner, the other one is in the top left corner. The option in the top left corner, if I click on it, it selects the entire table. The one in the bottom right corner could be used to stretch the table's width or height, inwards or outwards. So if I would like to shrink my table size, when I want to increase my row height, notice it completely changed it. Now if I want to move my table to a center alignment, I can click here, I can select the entire table, okay? I can click the Home tab, and I can, under the paragraph group, click Center Align, and it centers align my text. Now one more thing to notice, when I am not working with table, out of all the tabs listed on the ribbon, the last is Acrobat. But when I'm working with the table, I get to see 2 extra tabs, which are my context tabs or contextual tabs, to work with tables. So I can be clicking on, let's say, layout for now, and I would like to change some of the layout features of this table. So if I would like to select the entire first row, I can just simply bring my mouse in the first cell, press and hold the left mouse click, and keep going to the right. And the easier way to select would be to take my mouse in the column area, and when you see the mouse pointer changes like this, notice it was an I-beam, and it changes to this. Now what does this mean? If I click, it will only going to select the contents of this cell only. However, if I keep going to the left, now if I click, it selects the entire row. Once again, you gotta keep going to the left, and when your mouse pointer changes to an arrow and you click, it selects the entire row. So after selecting the entire row, in the Layout tab, in the Alignment group, we have 9 combinations of alignments. These are my horizontal and vertical alignments. We have 3 horizontal alignments, left, right, and center. We have 3 vertical alignments, top, middle, and bottom. Right now, if you look at my text, it's all center aligned, but in the box it is towards the top. Therefore, the top center is the one that is selected. So if I would like to change my alignment to bottom center, if I click on there, notice it now aligns at the bottom of the cell. I can be applying by going to Home tab some of the properties that I would like to apply. I could be changing the font size. I could be changing the font name. And I can be working with all of these properties just like I've worked before. Now, if I would like to increase or decrease the column width, I could also do that. For example, if I would like to bring the column MI a bit closer, so I can bring my mouse over here, the line that separates the 2 columns, and when you see this pointer, now press and hold the left click and bring it inwards until you see that there is large enough space to fit MI. And notice all the extra space is eaten up by last name. Now let's learn how you can condense the width of the table. There are several different ways that you can go around changing or condensing the width. Number one thing is that you should be in the Layout tab. Then you click AutoFit. And then you have AutoFit Contents. So notice everything fits to the largest item per column. Or you can fit AutoFit Window, then it goes all the way to the stretch of the window, okay? And Fixed Column Width, in which you would want to have a fixed column width for each column. But for now, we're going to work with AutoFit Contents. So everything goes by the longest item in a particular column. So this is just a brief introduction to your tables. Now, we can be adding more columns to tables, more rows to tables. You can remove the columns, rows, cells. You could split cells. You could merge cells. You can do all sorts of operations with the tables. You can change the background color of a cell. However, in this brief tutorial, I only wanted to introduce how you can go about creating a table, adding a row to it, working by putting in some text in the table, switching around the table's width. In the next tutorial, we're going to then look at the other options available to us in a table. Thank you for watching.